What makes family drive 16 kilometers out of their way to camp at Summit Lake, even when there are closer options to Nakusp or even directly next to a hot spring? Here's the secret: 3 off-leash dock zones, 3 boats for every camper, and a pump track that keeps kids busy for hours. But there's one thing nobody warns you about. That was really more of a downside for us initially, but ended up quite well. I'm Diego, in Switzerland, visiting several campgrounds with my location vibe proof system, or the 3 Ls. I've already saved East Canada Explorer, and after test for many people, hours of research to find places like these. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal exactly why my family will keep returning to this place, why have recommended this place several times, one thing that you won't be surprised in case you're gonna experience the same thing, and how you find the best site on the campground that fits your needs the best. Just a brief overview of what I will cover with you today is, I'll show you the 3L system in action, then why you need to consider a 50 ampere campsite or a 30 ampere campsite. With that I mean the power that you will get from these sites, and why you would book the same site again. So just as a little wrap up, I'll link a video above how I start and research the campgrounds, these local spot campgrounds. Therefore, just to wrap up, what I'll do to find these places is I start on my travel itinerary. Having said that, I mean, when I travel to Canada, I have a clear picture of where I want to go. In our case, I knew I wanted to go somewhere here, close to Nakusp. And then step number 2 was campground, looking for campgrounds in or close to Nakusp, which showed me several things. And then I went through all the campgrounds, checked for the 3 lenses: location, vibe, and proof. Location, how close it is to the next city or village. Mood, how close you are to each other. I'll check the reviews and how actual or current these are. And that's how I found these places. And then also, of course, I checked all the pictures. And then, last but not least, book it as early as you can. So, how I found this spot, based on the real-time example, is I entered Campground, which shows me that all campground within this area of the cusp. There is, for example, one campground I checked is in Cusp hot springs that are next to the hot springs. It has a great view next to the hot spring, as mentioned. Location-wise is awesome, close to nature, and then pool access, of course, but that's just that one pool. And then also the campsites are rather closer to each other, so that's why we didn't book it, although it is a nice place nonetheless. And if you check for reviews, you can always say the most relevant, or even I always go with the newest. I'll go through the reviews. And that's how we ended up with the campground here. Cusp, the Camp Valhalla, which is already showing off with a catchy picture that brought my attention. The reviews that are 4.8 stars. And when you go through the pictures, it just looks awesome, family friendly, beautifully kept. You see why I've chosen this place. So location wise, again, Camp Valhalla is 16 kilometers southeast of the Cusp on a paved highway. So we had a 15 ampere campsite. I think it was 51. And it was quite hot during summer, meant with 15 amperes. The climatization machine didn't work, so it could only work with open windows. If you would have had a 30 ampere powered site, it wouldn't have been an issue. So check this before you book your campsite, and also look which campsite you want, because as you see here below, there are some fully serviced, some that are partially serviced, like these sites, then some have not 30 ampere powers, and so on and so forth. And of course, if you are closer to the highway, right here, you might have more street noise, and as well as if you are on the sites next to the pump tracks, you might gonna have more noise as well. That would be over here. So overall, our verdict was superb location, although you're a little bit closer to each other, but you got everything what you need. Regarding the site selection strategy, I can share with you is try to get a full service site. If you come with an RV, then that's the best option you can go with. Maybe if you can, check for waterfront views, but they are fastly booked out. We didn't have any chance. Then maybe you could also consider a campsite close to the playground, so you can be next to your kids and let them roam free, or you're going to be close to the beach. That also means, on the other hand, there might be a bit more noise. So you need to wager what if it's for you. Having said that, if you're coming as a solo traveler or as a couple, you might consider like calmer spots here in the middle that might fit your needs even better. Then, the vibes, lens number 2. It's a seriously awesome campsite. Beautiful, warm during summer. The lake is warm. You got Wi-Fi, hot showers, a laundry, multiple playgrounds, pump track, swimming beaches. Then you get floating docks. A little quick favor before we go out. If this is saving your research time, then smash the like button. That would help me tremendously in the channel, in order that the others will get these nice insights too, or hopefully nice insights. Drop a comment with your RV type and travel dates, and I'll personally reply with my top site recommendation for your setup. Let's keep going. So if you plan any activities at Camp Valhalla, then best is if you would save yourself a kayak, boat, or pedal up early in the morning, that it can start after breakfast. Getting out of the lake, burning your calories from the breakfast, and maybe bring some bags that you can put in your phones that are covered from the water. And if you want to fish at the Summit Lake, where Camp Valhalla is located, don't forget to bring your fishing license. And that's because you get fined with heavy amounts if you don't have your license with you. It's lens number 3. The season when you can go there is between mid-May to 1st of October. So that's a time window. And I don't remember anymore when you can reserve the first spots, but keep an eye out on that too when the season is over. I do remember they have mentioned it the last time, I think was 2 to 3 months before it opened, but rather keep that up to date, check regularly, which I anyways advise to do so. Then things location wise, and how we said, I'll be talking about the proof. As you see, the reviews are very high, so you got here the first proof that it's a great place to be. And what I do usually is always go through the reviews. How old are they? Also maybe a bit further back, let's say 3 to 4 weeks maybe, where it's mid-August when it's in full, or when it was in full summer mode still. And if you're still not convinced, you can always check the lowest rating as a basis why it was bad. Then you see some hints, things that don't work well, but you can always speak with the office staff, and they're very kind, very friendly, and they always try to help and find a solution that makes, in my case, and in my view, an extraordinary place. Then, and if you need some proof, follow the locations. Go and check the pictures, also on TripAdvisor, so you can go through and see what speaks to this campground and why it makes a special place and why kids will have a lot of fun. Then some things that I can recommend from some mini itineraries from Camp Valhalla. There are plenty of possible hikes around. You could also go to these other lake when you pass through from Nakusp to Camp Valhalla. Then you can also hit the pump track at the campground, or go for a swim or kayaking. Or you just get on your camper and drive all the way over to Nakusp hot springs, or further up. If you look for hot springs, they are looking for hot springs, Halcyon Hot Springs, which is a must do if you have the chance to go there. It might be a bit more expensive than the Nakusp hot springs, but the location is just beautiful. Believe me, it is worth every penny when you go there and spend an afternoon at this place. What I also can advise you to do is, when you're at Camp Valhalla, go to the shed where you book your campgrounds and have the confirmations and everything, and take yourself an ice cream there. Treat yourself with it. The kids loved it tremendously. One thing that I could only recommend. And also hang out with locals there. So many local, very few tourists, to be honest, and that, my point of view, made it a special spot. Coming back now to the campsites, a little cheat sheet for you is, if your camper needs a 30 ampere powered campsites, and with that, I'm coming back to the point, front side campsites only have 15 amp powered, or some of them at least. Then if you bring your dog, use the 3 off-leash zones. The leash is required everywhere else, so also in regards to the other visitors, please adhere to that. Then bring your own drinking water. You can't use your tap, but you would know that if you travel frequently with a camper. The kayaks, the boats, the pedals are free. Just ask them and maybe book them beforehand or early enough that you won't miss out or gonna be too late, which happened to us, to be honest. Check also other places, alternatives, for example, Mount Ariel or Wilson Lake Recreational Site if you want to have something more wild. The only drawdown we had one day was that our dog pool was next to our RV, which the dog already pick up right immediately. So we have to call the office staff to help us out here and to remind everybody to please pick up your dog poops. Other than that, it offers multiple playgrounds up here and beach access, which is awesome. Also the laundry. Unfortunately, when we were there, it didn't work, so it was a bit unfortunate, but it's family friendly, rich on amenities. You can bring your dogs, and just to give you some insights to the vibe of the campground, as you see here, it's an awesome place. Such a beautiful spot. You need to check their Instagram account later on. It was just awesome, and we had a lot of fun, made a lot of friends. Getting to the verdict of this campground, it passes the 3L system, which is location, vibe, and proof. It's an easy win for families, couples, and adventure crews who want real lake days and dog-friendly freedom. Just be smart about your power, hook up and bring your own water, but that's a no-brainer. And if you want to have more Western Canada campground deep dives, then hit subscribe for no fluff feel pasta pics. Although some of them I probably haven't seen yet, but I picked them based on the same system, so I have proof that it works. It's worth the visit. And drop your travel dates and hookup needs in the comments, I'll reply with my side picks or quieter alternative depending on your needs. With that, just some arrivederci and see you soon.